students. Today we are going to learn the balance portion of our lesson. In which chapter we learn? Yes, we learn in chapter 13, transportation in plants and animals. Transportation in animals and plants. Okay. In this chapter, what all things we learn? We learn about how the food materials that we eat are transferred into different substances, and that different substances are how the body is transported to all parts of our body. Okay, like in plants, in animals. Okay, all animals and plants or transportations are taking place. Okay, then in this chapter, first of all, we learned about, so we know that after a short break, we all meet again. So, I hope all are fine and safe at home. So, this is a new episode, new class for this year, 2021. So, so let's start. So in this chapter we learn about circulatory system. In this chapter we learn about what? Circulatory system. We know that the circulatory system consists of blood, then blood vessels, blood and blood vessels. The circulatory system consists of what all things? Yes, the blood, then blood vessels, etc. where consist of the circulatory system. Blood, then heart, the blood vessels, blood, then heart and the blood vessel consist of the circulatory system. That all we learned in the previous classes. Next one, we all know that for the survival of a living thing, the living thing need what? All organisms need food. All organisms need food, then water, and also they need oxygen for their survival, and also they need what? Oxygen for their survival. So these things we know. So that without oxygen, without food, without water, we cannot, an organism cannot survive. Okay, then they need to support, transport all these to various parts of our body, various parts of their body in plants and in animals. In plants and also in animals, to transport all these food, water and oxygen to all parts of the body. The all parts of our body needs these all things. Okay. Next one. Next we know that the animals also, the plants and the animals also transport food, water and oxygen to all parts of the body. Then, do you see the heart and blood vessels? Do you see the heart and blood vessels? We know that the heart and blood vessels are present inside the body of a living organism. Living organisms. Okay. And also, what is the function of the heart and blood vessels? The heart and blood vessels transport the substances. They transport the substances like food, then water, oxygen, and also together, and also the blood and the blood vessels together form the circulatory system. These are things we learn. We know that. What is the circulatory system? Circulatory system. Circulatory system. The circulatory system consists of the blood and blood vessels. Blood vessels. Then heart. Okay, heart. So we know that the function of to transport substances and together form the circulatory system. Okay. So the transport of all the transported substances takes place in plants and animals. Then the circulatory system consists of blood, then blood vessel, then heart. Blood vessel and heart. First of all, we already learned about blood. We know that blood. What is the color of the blood? Yes, we know that the color of blood is red. Blood is red in color. Blood is red in color. Why the blood is red in color? Why the blood is red in color? Yes, it contains a pigment that give red color to the blood. That is hemoglobin. Which pigment? Yes, hemoglobin. Hemoglobin. Hemoglobin gives red color to the blood. Hemoglobin gives red color to the blood. Then, what is the blood is present in the form of fluid. The blood is present in the form of fluid. So, which flow in through blood vessels. The blood is present in the form of fluid, and also it flows through blood vessels. It flows through where? Blood vessels. Then it transports, the blood transport. What are things the blood transports? Yes, the blood transports the substances like the digested food. The food that we eat goes to our stomach. Then the stomach secretes the digestive juices, so that digestive juice digests this food that we eat. Then the digested food is transported from the digested food from the small intestine is transported to other parts of the body through the blood vessels, through the blood. Okay. Then, and also it carries, the blood carries oxygen. The blood carries oxygen from where? Yes, from the lungs. From the lungs to the cells of the body. The blood carries oxygen. The blood also carries oxygen. It also carries oxygen to all parts of the body from the lungs. Then it also transports waste for removal from the body. The blood also transport waste. The blood also transport waste for the removal, waste for removal from the body. These are the different functions of blood we already learned. Once again, in this chapter we learn about transportation in animals and plants. Transportation in animals and plants. So first of all, we know that we cannot think without food, water and oxygen. So we know that all living organisms need food, water and air for their survival. So like human beings, like plants, like animals, all the living creatures need food, water and oxygen for their survival. So how these food, water and air transported to all parts of the body in all living organisms. So for the transportation facilities taking place inside the living organisms, it consists of a circulatory system. The transportation taking place through the circulatory system. The circulatory system means the circulatory system consists of three parts: blood, heart and blood vessels. Blood vessels and heart. So we know that blood, we know what is blood. Blood is, the color of blood is red. Which pigment gives the color, red color to the blood? Yes, we know that hemoglobin. And also if the blood is present in the form of fluid, so it flows through the blood vessels. Then the functions of blood. What are the functions of blood? The blood transport, the transportation taking place through blood. So the blood transport the digested food from the small intestine to all parts of the body. From the small intestine to all parts of the body. The blood transport the digested food from the small intestine to all parts of the body. Then, and also the blood carries oxygen. We know that for breathing, during breathing, inhalation, we take oxygen from our surroundings. We take clean oxygen from our surroundings. So that clean oxygen is inhaled to us through our nasal cavity. Then it reaches to our lungs. So the lungs, from the lungs, the oxygen is carried from, it carries oxygen from the lungs. The blood carries oxygen from the lungs to all parts of the cells of the body. All cells of the body. And also the blood transport waste for removal of the body. To transport waste for the removal of the body. So, and also we already learned why is the color of the blood is red in color. Yes, it gives what hemoglobin gives the blood in red color. Okay, then the blood contains three parts. The blood contains three parts. First of all, the three types of cells consist of the blood. The blood consists of three types of cells: red blood cells, white blood cells, then plasma. Red blood cells, RBC, WBC, then platelets. RBC, WBC and platelets. Then first of all we learn about the circulatory system, that is blood. Then the fluid part of blood. Fluid part. Blood is what? Fluid part of blood is plasma. Plasma. Fluid part of blood is called plasma. Then the blood contains three types of cells: RBC, then WBC, then platelets. RBC, WBC and platelets. RBC means red blood cells. Red blood cells. Red blood cells. WBC means white blood cells. Then platelets. The fluid part of blood is called what? Plasma. The fluid part of blood is called what? Plasma. Then RBC means it is a type of cell present in the blood, that is red blood cells. Then WBC, white blood cells. Then platelets. Then platelets. Red blood cells or RBC, which contain a red pigment that is called hemoglobin. That hemoglobin gives the red color to the blood. Red color to the blood. Okay. Then the hemoglobin binds with oxygen and transport it to all the parts of the body and ultimately to all the cells. How the hemoglobin helps? Yes, the hemoglobin binds with the oxygen and it transports to all parts of the cells in the body. Okay, then it will be difficult to provide oxygen efficiently to all the cells of the body without hemoglobin. So from this we can say that we know that the importance of hemoglobin. Hemoglobin pigment. The hemoglobin pigment gives red color to the blood and also it binds with oxygen and it carries oxygen to all parts of the cells of the body. And also without hemoglobin, in the absence of hemoglobin, the blood cannot binds with oxygen. Efficiently binds with the oxygen. There is a lack of or transportation of oxygen takes place without hemoglobin. Okay, then next one, white blood cells. The white blood cells fight against germs that may enter our body. The white blood cells acts like an antibody. Antibody means it fight against the germs that enter into our body. Enter our body. So the white blood cells fight against the germs that may enter our body. What is the function of WBC? White blood cells in the blood? Yes, it fight against the germs that may enter our body. RBC means RBC contains hemoglobin pigment. That hemoglobin pigment helps to bind with oxygen and it transported or it carries to all parts of the cells of the body. Then the WBC fight against the germs that may enter our body. Then next one, platelets. The platelet means we know that if we may face an accident, so during accident we in our body face to a wound. So from the wound we know that the blood is oozing out. So for the continuous flow of blood from the body is a very difficult, very dangerous condition. So to stop the flowing of blood from the wound, so it helps with the platelets. It helps with the platelets. The clotting of blood helps with the platelets. Okay, the clot is formed because of the presence of another types of cells in the blood, that is called the platelets. The platelets helps to clot the blood. The platelets helps to clot the blood. So we know that if our finger or anywhere our body is wounded, so from that wound we know that the blood is coming out. So after some time we know that an yellowish substance is covering the wound, that helps to clot the blood. That for the clotting of blood helps the platelets. So okay, all of you understood? We will revise once again about these portions. Okay, so all of you listen. So I think all of you understood this about our circulatory system. First, the circulatory system consists of blood vessels and a heart. First of all, we discuss about the blood. We know that blood is the important part of our body. So because the blood transport all substances needed for our body, each and every cells of the body. So blood is like a fluid, and also its color is red in color. The red color given by the pigment called the hemoglobin. The hemoglobin has also a very important function in the blood. So then we know that the blood has several functions. First of all, the blood transport the digested food from the small intestine to all parts of the body, and also the blood transport, or it carries oxygen from the lungs to all parts of the body, and also it helps to transport the waste for removal from the body. These are the different functions of the blood. Then the blood contains different types of cells. Then first of all, the blood contains a fluid part that is called the plasma. Then red blood cells, white blood cells and platelets. These are the different types of cells present in the blood. First of all, red blood cells. Red blood cells. The red color given by the hemoglobin. The hemoglobin have the ability to bind with the oxygen, and it transfer to all parts of the cells of the body. Then without hemoglobin, the binding of oxygen is not, or the transportation of oxygen is not taken place inside the body of a living creature. Then next one, WBC. WBC means white blood cells. The white blood cells fight against the germs that may enter our body. White blood cells, the fight against the germs that may enter our body. Then platelets. The platelets helps to clot. The platelets helps to clot. The platelets helps to clot the blood. Clot the blood. Next one, blood vessel. Next we learned about blood vessels. What all things we learn about blood vessels? Blood vessels. There are different types of blood vessels in the body. We know that there are different types of blood vessels in the body. So, the two types of blood vessels are arteries and veins. Arteries and veins are the two types of blood vessels. Okay, present in the body. First of all, we already learned about the arteries. Then the arteries carry oxygen-rich blood from oxygenated blood. That means oxygen-rich blood from the heart to all parts of the body. What is the function of artery? Artery carry oxygenated blood. Artery carry which type of blood? Oxygenated blood. Oxygenated blood means the oxygen rich blood. Oxygen rich blood. The arteries carries oxygenated blood or oxygen rich blood from the heart to all parts of the body. Okay. Then the blood flow is rapid at a high pressure. The arteries have thick elastic walls. The blood flow is taken place at a rapid, at a high pressure, in a rapid motion. So, and also the walls of the arteries have an ability to have an elasticity. Have an elasticity, so that elasticity helps the arteries to elasticity helps the arteries to enlarge the walls to flow the blood the high pressure blood flow. Okay, so once again about blood vessels, arteries and veins. There are two types of blood vessels. First of all, arteries and veins. Then arteries carry oxygen-rich blood from the heart to all parts of the body. The oxygen-rich blood means the oxygenated blood from heart to all parts of the body. And also the walls of the artery have a elastic walls. Next one, pulse. We know that pulse rate. If we take pulse, if we are going to see a doctor, if we are ill, what happen? Yes, the doctor take the pulse of the patient. Then how the doctor take the pulse of the patient? Yes, take the left hand wrist portion. Then the middle finger is placed on the wrist portion. Then he can count he know about the pulse, and also doctor can count the pulse rate. Okay, pulse means the throbbing. Here if we touch our middle finger into our wrist portion, what happens? We can feel a throbbing. That is called a pulse. That throbbing is produced due to the blood flowing in the arteries. That throbbing is produced due to the blood flowing through the arteries. Then count the number of pulse beats in 1 minute. Now count the number of pulse beats in 1 minute. So a healthy resting person can have 70 to 80 beats per minute in 1 minute. 70 to 80 beats per minute. 70 to 80 beats. 70 to 80 beats per minute. 70 to 80 beats per minute. A resting person's pulse rate. 70 to 80 beats per minute. Okay. What is pulse? Pulse means the throbbing, the flow of blood through the arteries. Due to that, there is a throbbing we can feel. So that is called a pulse. Pulse rate means the number of beats per minute is called a pulse rate. A resting person have 70 to 80 beats per minute. 70 to 80 beats per minute. That is called a pulse rate. Then next, veins. 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 We know that veins are the vessels which carry carbon dioxide rich blood from all parts of the body back to the heart. What happened in veins? Yes, the veins carry carbon dioxide rich blood. Carbon dioxide rich blood from where? Blood from all parts of the body to the heart. All parts of the body to where? To heart. Back to heart. The arteries. What happened in the arteries? The arteries carries oxygen-rich blood from the heart to all parts. So we know that the all parts of the body need what? Yes, oxygen. So the heart, from the heart, the blood, the arteries carries the oxygen-rich blood to all parts of the body. Then the veins carry carbon dioxide-rich blood from all parts of the body back to heart. Then the veins have thin walls. The veins have a thin walls. There are valves present then in veins which allow blood to flow only towards the heart. What happened? Yes, the veins have thin walls. The veins have a thin walls. The veins have thin walls, and also there is a valve present, two valves present. That valves only allow that valve to allow blood to flow only towards the heart. That valves allow only blood to the heart. Okay, so these are these about veins. These about veins. Next, capillaries. Next one, capillaries. Capillaries means we know that the more cells combine to form tissues, more than two cells combine to form what? Yes, tissues. Then we know that arteries and veins are the two types of cells in the blood vessels, Then the arteries divided into smaller vessels. The arteries are divided into what? The smaller vessels. Then on reaching the tissues, they divided further into thin tubes, that is called the capillaries. The arteries are divided into thin vessels, that is called the capillaries. That is called what? Capillaries. That is called what? Capillaries. Then okay, the capillaries join up to form veins. What happens? The thin capillaries join up to form veins and which empty into the heart. That is empty into the hearts. Next, circulatory system consists of heart. Next one, heart. Next one, heart. So we know that heart is a part of our circulatory system. Heart is an organ which beats continuously. What is the sound of heartbeat? Lub, dub, lub, dub. Okay. So the heart is an organ which beats continuously, and also it acts as a pump for transport of blood, then which carries other substances with it. Okay. So once again about heart. Heart is an organ. Heart is an organ. Heart is an organ. Then it beats continuously. It beats continuously. Heart is an organ. Then it beats continuously. Then what happened? Yes. It acts as a pump. It acts as a pump. It acts as a pump to transport blood. To transport blood. Okay. Then we know that where is the heart located? Where is heart located? Yes, the heart is located in the chest cavity. Where is the heart located? Yes, the heart is located in the chest cavity. Heart is located in the chest cavity. Okay. Then the heart is located in the chest cavity with its lower tip slightly tilted towards the left. Its lower tip. The heart heart is situated in the chest cavity. Its lower tip is just tilted towards slightly tilted towards the left side, Then the heart has 4 chambers. The 2 upper chambers are called the atria. Then the 2 lower chambers are called the ventricles. The heart has 2 chambers, 2 atria, then 2 atria and 2 ventricles. The heart have 4 chambers. The heart have 4 chambers. The two upper chambers called atria, and the 2 lower chambers are called ventricles. The 2 upper chambers are called atria. That is, in singular form it is called atrium. Left atrium and right atrium. Then ventricles, left ventricle and right ventricles. The 2 atria are left atrium and right atrium. 2 ventricles are left ventricle and right ventricle. Okay. Then the partition between the chambers helps. Why the hearts are divided into 4 chambers? The partition of the heart helps to avoid mixing up of blood rich in oxygen with the blood rich in carbon dioxide. We know that inside the body there is a transportation of oxygenated blood and deoxygenated blood takes place. So to avoid the mixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood, the partition of heart helps to avoid the mixing up of the oxygen rich blood and the carbon dioxide rich blood inside the heart. Okay. Next one, heartbeat. We know that heartbeat. Which instrument is used to measure the heartbeat? Yes, if we are going to hospital, if we consult a doctor, if we are ill, what happens? First of all, the doctor take an instrument that is called a stethoscope. To check or to find or to count the heartbeat. Then, yes, the doctor feels our heartbeats with the help of an instrument called a stethoscope. Okay. So we know that the stethoscope consists of a chest piece, then a tube is fixed with the chest piece, then that another end of the tube is fixed with the earpiece. Okay. Then next we learn about some animals does not possess circulatory system. So we know that all living creatures consist of the circulatory system or for the transportation of substances taking place. So some animals does not possess any circulatory system. For example, the animals like hydra and sponges. Animals like hydra and sponges does not have the circulatory system. Okay. Here, the animals such as sponges and hydra do not possess any circulatory system. The water in which they live brings food and oxygen as it enters their bodies. That means we know that the sponges and hydra live in water. So, in the water in which they live brings food and oxygen as it enters their body. The water carries away waste materials and carbon dioxide as it moves out. Then these animals do not need any circulatory fluid like the blood for the transportation facilities. Okay. Which are the animals they do not possess any circulatory system? Yes, the animals like the sponges and hydra. Why? Because they live in water. That water contains that water gives food for that animals, and also they remove waste from their body through water. Then excretion in animals. Next one, excretion in animals. Excretion in animals. So we know that for excretion, removal of waste from the body. So for excretion takes place, there is an excretory system needed. So the excretory system in humans consists of kidney, ureter, urinary bladder, urethra and urinary opening. These all things we already learned. Okay, so once again excretory system in humans. Then we know that a mechanisms to filter the blood is required. That is done by, to filter the blood is done by the blood capillaries in the kidneys. The kidney contains blood capillaries. That blood capillaries helps to filter the blood. Okay. When the blood reaches the two kidneys, then it reaches to ureter. Then after through ureter it will. Okay students. So these all things we know. We already learned. Okay. So you should read your textbook more and more times. In this episode we will revise once again. Okay. So let's wind up the class. Okay. Thank you.